Yeah, what she did. This is my February DoorDash report. Hey friends, I'm Shanita. Thank you so much for joining me on this channel. Over here, we talk about the strategies and tools to help you amp up your side hustle game, become more productive, as well as pay off those student loan debts. So if any of these topics interest you, consider subscribing. So a few weeks back, I gave you an update to my January DoorDash earnings, as well as I gave you a short back-end tour of the DoorDash Dasher interface, as well as the requirements to stay on the DoorDash platform. So since we talked about that already, I'm gonna get right into it. So for the month of February, I did come up short again, this time making even less than what I made last month. As many of you may know, Texas experienced a winter weather storm that devastated the entire state due to the infrastructure not being properly equipped to handle that type of weather. So being that I'm originally from Connecticut, I didn't really have much problems with the weather itself, but I was quite surprised with the lack of resources available during that time of need. So I was able to luck up on going to a Target, for example, to get something, but they were like completely blacked out. So they were pretty much running off of a generator and running off of daylight. They were scheduled to close pretty much close to when sunset. So I had to hurry up and get the basic things that I needed to, because there was no running water, didn't have any electricity. So I was only able to get things that were non-perishable, which were few and far in between because all the shelves were pretty much empty. As a result of the power outages, as well as no accessible running water in some places, many of the restaurants were closed. And for the ones that did, they were overrun by people who desperately needed food. So what ended up happening is DoorDash completely shut off delivery service to my area. So I wasn't making any money for pretty much the whole week. Overall, I was pretty much out of water and electricity for about 5 days, as well as many other people in Texas. So I'm very far behind on all of my recordings and being able to get back to a regular schedule. I did check my email and I did see that DoorDash sent out a notification to all of its drivers letting them know that they may qualify for disaster unemployment insurance if they lived in certain areas. So if you are in this situation or you know somebody who's in this situation as well, I would highly encourage them to check out the resources. Programs like these during a time of crisis is very helpful. So what I'll do is I'll leave some information in the description box below to give you some more context as to how you can apply for it and who it applies to. So as a friendly reminder, guys, if you are finding value in this video, please remember to give me a like by hitting the thumbs up button. So let's take a look at the comparison between February of last year versus February of this year, 2021. As I mentioned in my video last month, I was in a shortfall of about $171.34. This month, I am in a shortfall of $148.45 in comparison to last year's February earnings. On the bright side of this, I am still making a profit because I do maintain a strategy of what orders I will accept versus which orders I will pass on. More details will be available on that in my review of the Stride app mileage tracker. In that video, I give more details on the things that I look for when accepting orders. If you're in the situation and you start to see your earnings decline significantly from last year, best thing to do is not to panic. Usually when you start to panic, you go into a scarcity mindset. When you operate from a scarcity mindset, you start making bad decisions and accepting things that don't make any sense, like accepting orders that don't yield a profit. But as always, when you're doing gig work or any type of work where your money is going to fluctuate month to month, just continue to remember to have a backup plan, like having a second source of income, running multiple apps such as doing Uber Eats on top of doing DoorDash or doing Grubhub on top of DoorDash or something else. Also making sure you set up a savings account with an emergency fund in it, as well as any of your overhead costs for your business expenses, such as enough money for gas and car maintenance so that you can maintain still doing your gig work. If your gig work heavily relies on having a car, you at least have the ability to pay for any expenses that come with operating a vehicle. Also, make sure you're taking advantage of all of these opportunities that are out there right now in terms of making sure you have some sustainable income during this time of pandemic and economic uncertainty, such as the stimulus checks that have been approved, the SBA EIDL loan, the PPP loan program, unemployment insurance for gig workers, and disaster relief unemployment for gig workers. As long as you can support your justification for needing these types of services, such as you've accurately been recording all of your income as well as all of your expenses, and you have been maintaining proper and accurate tax information with the IRS, I would strongly go ahead and look into some of these services. It doesn't hurt to just look into seeing if any of these may help or support your business model. When you have excessive resources like this is where you start to realize how important it is to treat your gig work like it's a business instead of just a hobby. So let's pay some bills. So at the beginning of this student loan debt payoff journey that I've been sharing with you, my loan balance at the time was $18,548.61 at the end of January 2021. And now at the end of February 2021, my balance is now $17,298.72. All right, so I made my second payment. There it goes. So here's what I have to look forward to in the warmer months. Daylight savings time. That means that there's much more time to dash because it's during the daylight, which gives the illusion of a longer day, which means if there's a longer day, there's a strong possibility for more orders because more restaurants are staying open longer. On the flip side of the coin, there's always things that I'm not looking forward to when I do my gig work. I'm not looking forward to the summertime because that means more competition. At that point, you've got college students coming out to do gig work because they're trying to make some extra money so that they can bring it back during the next school year to pay for some of their school expenses, which I get, I understand. I did the same thing when I was in college. Then there's also my fellow colleagues, my fellow educators who happen to also have the summers off, which means they're getting in their side hustle game too during the summer. All of that said, there's a lot of people competing for times and shifts on the DoorDash platform, which can make it a little challenging to make sure that you're making money. Another thing that I'm completely unsure about is this new lift of Texas reopening all of restaurants to 100% capacity. I don't know how that's going to turn out. I really don't know yet. I'm curious to see how this is going to go. If you're new here and you would like to see what else I've been up to here on my channel, be sure to watch these two videos. One where I talk about my student loan debt and how much I owe, and this one where I made a breakdown of my calculations of my student loan overpayments. And then you'll get to see how well this is actually going in comparison to that video. And remember, if you've enjoyed those videos, please make sure you give them a thumbs up as well as hit that notification bell so that you can be informed every time I upload a new video to this channel. All right, bye.